Right, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a bit different. I'm going to challenge myself to make one pedal in one day. So that's a finished pedal from start to finish on Vero board in one day. So by the time the sun sets over there, we should have a finished pedal. So I'm going to get cracking with it. Let's go. Okay, so I've got my bag of components. Sorted all these out last night, so I know that I've got exactly what I need to do this. Did my little design on paper, a little bit of a drill guide. That's what's going to go onto the pedal. And first things first, we're going to start sanding the box and then etching it, because the box is going to be lying around for a few hours drying and being etched and things like that. So whilst that's doing, I can be making the pedal itself, and by the time it's dried and finished, I can then drill it and put all the parts in once the circuit's done. So yeah, start off with the box and then do the circuit. So I've just bought this enclosure. There's the screws for it. I'm just going to sand this off. I've got all different pieces of sandpaper. There's some more components that was missing. I'm going to get some sandpaper and get this all sanded off. Then I'm going to heat transfer the design, and then I'm going to put some peroxide on that and that's going to be left for about an hour to like peroxide etch for a bit. Okay, so I've just been sanding that off. I don't want it super shiny. I've just roughed it up a bit, because otherwise the toner doesn't take really well to it if it's like totally shiny. So I've given it a bit of grit, and I just like that look anyway. So I'm going to print out the toner transfer now and get that on there. Alright, so I've prepared the drill guide, which is here. I'll print that out. And then we've got the etch guide. Obviously that's in reverse, because you're going to chuck it onto the, you're going to transfer it. Yeah, that's just the drill guide. There we go. I'm just going to print these out now. Hopefully I can get a nice clean print. That's my drill guide. And there's my transfer. So I've done 4 of them just in case, as they do, they can bugger up. That one's a bit, it's got a line down it, that one, so I won't be doing that one. I'll probably use that one. It's the nicest one. That's my drill guide. We're all ready to etch now. Right, I've shown this in previous videos, but I'll just show it again. So just whack that, cut it out, whack it on the, I put it on cold. So I don't heat the enclosure before I put the label on it, because you might want to move it around, and if it's hot it's just really difficult to put it on. So put it on and then just iron it for like 2 minutes just to get it all set in place, and just add that pressure to it. And so in total we're going to do 7 minutes, and then another 7 minutes, and then 8 minutes in water, and then you should be able to peel it off perfect. Right, so once the 14 minutes of ironing is done, we want to just chuck it in there for about 8 minutes and let that just soak in a bit, so we can take that paper off, and it will leave us with the toner left on the enclosure ready for etching. Alright, so I've just peeled that off after 8 minutes of being submerged, and it's looking pretty nice, all ready for being etched on there. Got a little bit of paper stuck there, but other than that, it's looking pretty clean. Happy with that, and I'm going to go on to etch this now. Alright, what I've done is just masked off with this tape. It's like plastic parcel tape. I've masked off the enclosure just so that I can put this, it's peroxide and white vinegar solution in here, so put it inside there, and basically just chuck this on for about an hour. That's just like a pre-etch. That's 40 vol peroxide, white vinegar, and some table salt, and that just creates my pre-etch. And I'll leave that on for an hour. We just get that pre-etched. Alright, I've got my Vero board there. I've just pre-drilled it just to save some time. Got these rather interesting transistors. I've never used these before. This is why I wanted to make this pedal, because it's like yeah, it just uses unusual transistors that I've not used before, so I'm hoping to get a really like a nicer sound, like a unique sound that I've not heard before. They're 2N3053. They're cool transistors. They look like little spaceships. Like it. I've also got on this pedal, there's like a voltage starve on it, which is really interesting to me as well. So you can get some really like dirty fuzz sounds from it. So that's the reason I'm building this. It's really it's quite a unique fuzz pedal. So yeah, like I say, it's based on the Dirt transmitter from Dirtbox Layouts. I'll put the Vero layout and the link in the description as well. So big up Dirtbox Layouts. I really love that website. They have some really nice layouts, really clean stuff. Everything usually works. It's usually verified and works. They post quite a few Vero layouts. Yeah, all good stuff. So I'm going to get down, and these are all my components. I've pre-selected all of the components. I'm going to get all my resistors in first. So I'm just going to put all of those in a pile. All the resistors, electrolytic capacitors, ceramic capacitors. Got a few more things here that I just bought this morning. That's a 4.8 capacitor. Just going to put the capacitors in there. Those are my transistors. Like I say, pretty unique stuff. Vero, 2 jumpers on this one, which is really simple. I don't like jumpers. I don't like putting jumpers in, take too long. Fiddly, but that's the nature of Vero. We're trying to get something done uber quick. We only want a few jumpers. So yeah, not gonna film myself soldering all of this because that'd be really boring. But I'm going to stop and show you bits as I do it. Again, it's kind of like a little bit of a tutorial video. I want this video just to be like how you would build a pedal from top to bottom, really. If you were doing it in a DIY basis, you're making just one pedal just for yourself. You're not going to sell it, but you want it to look nice, you know what I mean? Alright, so I've finished the circuit. It's took me about an hour to do that. All the bits and pieces. Yeah, I've finished the main part of the circuit. I just haven't done the wiring, haven't put the transistors in their little stands yet. But that'll be the next bit. I'm going to go down and check on the etching of the box. And obviously that's been done. That's been in the peroxide for an hour and 15 now, so that'll be well done. Ready for the acid etching, which I'm going to do now. Peroxide's been in there for about an hour, so I'm just going to wash that off. Just pour it out, wash it off a little bit, and then we're going to get on to putting some hydrochloric acid on there, which will be diluted with a little bit of water. It's extremely dangerous, this part, so I do not endorse doing it. It's maybe more dangerous than going to an I Hate God concert. But that's open to interpretation. Right, I will say for this part, I'm going to wear eye protection. I'm also going to wear a mask as well, because you don't want any of that hydrochloric acid getting up your nose or in your throat or in your eyes, because it's just extremely dangerous stuff. It'll blind you, it'll burn you. If you think we're going to etch aluminium, you know, it's extremely strong, violent chemical. So I'm wearing this eye protection and a face protection. I'm going to start etching it. Right, I got the hydrochloric acid solution mixed with about 10 mils of water, and then the pedal there. I'm going to use this. This basically is going to be pipetted onto there in small amounts, and it's going to just burn off. This whole process, this next process, probably takes about 15 minutes for it to basically cook on there. The pedal gets really, really hot with the acid doing its etching work on there. But I'm not going to video a lot of this because I want my hands free and everything, because it's really dangerous, like I said before. So as you can see, the chemicals have reacted a bit with the some of the peroxide that's still in there. It's causing a right old reaction. It's fizzing, you can hear it fizzing, and then it does smoke as well, just because it's like It's just burning away the aluminium. Right, I had to move pretty quickly with this because the acid started to work a bit quicker than I thought. It started to burn away the toner, and once the toner starts to burn away, it'll just ruin the whole design. So I had to pull it out of the acid quick, wash it off, and then with I've got P400 sandpaper, and I've got acetone in a spray bottle. So just spray that acetone on and lightly rub with the P400 sandpaper, and use a sponge, use soapy dishwashing liquid, run it under a warm tap and just lightly rub away, and you rub that excess toner off. You can see this black, that is toner as well in there. If you run your finger over, you can see there's an indentation of the etch there, so that's really nice. You could leave it like that if you wanted to, but what I like to do is to put some enamel paint on it as well, just some black paint. So I'll spray paint this with a really light covering of black paint, and then we'll sand that off again, and it should leave us with a really nice black finish. Alright, so this is my drill guide. I'm just going to stick this on here with some masking tape, and then I'm just going to drill pilot holes in. I'm not going to whack in the massive holes yet. Just use this as a guide for these holes, and then we'll do the bigger holes. Alright, I've just drilled some pilot holes, like with a drill bit about that size. So one for the LED, for the 3-pole double throw, 1, 2, 3 pots. Then on the side, jack, DC. You need a stepper drill bit to make the holes bigger, obviously. And whilst you're drilling your holes, obviously this is going to go in here. Boom. You want to do one that size. You just, have your parts on hand so you can just test the hole size, make sure you're not doing too big or too small, just get it perfect. Yeah, I'm just going to whack these through. Alright, so there's that. As I've been going with this drilling, I've just been like testing the bits. That's the 3-pole double throw fits in there. I've got a nice New Orleans green LED that's going to go in there. DC lug, and then our jacks fit in there, slightly away from our potentiometers. I'm using these smaller potentiometers so they're not taking up too much room because we've got quite a small box, fits in each of those. I want to say with this pedal, I've not got a level in it because I just don't like levels, so it's going to be like tone, gain, and then the voltage cut off, whatever you call it. All in all, looking good. Going to spray paint it black now. Just a really light coating of spray paint because I don't want to, I'm up against the clock and I don't want to wait all day for it to dry. So I'm going to sit it on there and I'm going to do a really light mist of black paint. That's it. That's all you need. Because that's going to dry, and then it's going to dry, and then I'm going to just sand it off. So as you can see, you can still see that etch coming through. It's a very nice deep etch, that one. So yeah, and it was a good idea to drill the holes first so that I'm not going to do any damage to the paint once it's gone on. So we're just going to wait 4 hours or so for that to dry, and then I'm going to get on and test the circuit, get the circuit finished, test the circuit in a test box, and then hopefully by the time this is dry we can get the box and put it together. Right, I've just been stripping a lot of wire because I'm doing getting the pots, the potentiometers on. Wire clippers, essential for clipping wire with. And then we're just going to fasten them onto the Vero board as my transistors. I'll put in those last. Put your transistors in last because they're going to be sticking out a bit. Yeah, you don't want them in there while you're just trying to do all this. So I've got this all wired up to my test box now. I'm just going to test the circuit. I've actually put the level potentiometer on it just for now, just for testing, just because it just complicated me. I couldn't work out which one was going to be the input, so I just put it all together. I'll take that potentiometer out later when I put it into the box. The circuit's looking pretty cool with our little transistors on there. Like I said, I never used these transistors before. They're pretty cool. Yeah, this is the pot I'm interested in, the voltage starve pot. I'm going to see if that works. Going through an SG. That's the kind of clean tone. I've got a 4x12 Marshall and I've got a micro dark just there, which is what we're going through. Okay, I'm going to just test this and let's hope it works. Alright, here we go. Fire this thing up. Going to test out the voltage starve part of this, see what that sounds like. I think it's a pretty good I Hate God sort of sound. It's very swampy, it's very muddy, it's very like dirty, and obviously it's got that voltage starve on it, which sounds ooh nasty, nasty. Love it. All right, what I like to do before I start boxing things up is just test the LED. I've unfortunately just blown a green LED, so I've had to rip it out of its bezel. I luckily had some other green LEDs at 5mm. So I just test them through some current limiting resistors. I've got this one at 470 ohms because these ones 3.9, you know, the kind of smaller K resistors are they're blowing the LED. So, and it's not bright enough either. So I've got a 470 ohm, and that's nice. That's bright enough for what I want, you know. Clear blues are, you know, they're really bright, but yeah, that's bright enough for this. I'm happy with that, so I'll go with the 470 ohm for the green. But yeah, I just test these LEDs just before I box up, just so I know what I've got and what I'm putting into the box before I start messing about with that. Alright, that's just a quick tip. Alright, so I'm still waiting for my box to dry. In the meantime, what I've been doing is I've just been doing the off-board wiring in this spare box, just getting it all sorted, you know, resistor for the LED and things like that. That's all sorted. What I've done is just trimmed the legs of the transistors down so that everything's just like laying on the same level. So I think I've just dabbed a little bit of solder inside there so that the transistors don't ever fall out. A lot of my wires are a bit too long as well. I'm going to probably trim those down when I get it all into the box. Now what I do as well is, you know, if I make any changes like this, you know, taking out the transistors, putting them back in, things like that, just give it another test through the test box. Make sure nothing's like happened to stop the circuit working or anything like that. Just make sure each time you make any kind of change like that, just give it another test. Try not to get bogged down in jamming like I do. I think my paint's pretty much dry. It's not sticky anymore. So what I'm going to do is get some sandpaper on that, some water and stuff, and just start pulling back that black paint to reveal the design. It's going to take like 10-15 minutes to do that, and then hopefully we should get the finished design, the finished pedal looking all good. Alright, so that's it with the paint peeled back. You can see you got a nice design left there. I've basically done that using just a soft sanding block like that, and then you wrap the sandpaper in it. This is a 1200 grit sandpaper, so it's really fine, and what you want to do is really gently sand, and the block keeps it level, so you're not going into any of the grooves or anything like that. And just use water to brush that paint away as well. Just water, sandpaper, and this block, and just gently do each area, and it should take about 10-15 minutes to do that. And you're left with that. Yeah, like I say, I'd usually now spray it with some matte clear coat, just to keep that paint in there. But I don't have any of that in a minute, so I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then just start building the rest of the pedal inside. All right, so I've done all the off-board wiring. There's our little Vero board in there, just hovering. Seems okay in there. What I'll do is put some tape on the back so that doesn't short circuit. Like if you just leave it aluminium, it'll short out. And then what I always do is we'll give it sign it. Unholy Audio. And the date is 23rd of August 2023. Signed it. I hate God. Black metal from the ghetto. There you go. All to do now is to test it. So, challenge accepted and completed. One guitar pedal built in a day, built in 7 hours, finished, working, and ready for the next demo. The next video I'll probably just do a more in-depth demo on what this sounds like and just some of the features on it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tune in for next time. Hit like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.